Welcome to all of you guys. Welcome. Welcome to another live space with Oliver Velez. Of course, my name is Oliver Velez. And today, once again, we're going to do another talk on my favorite topic, Bitcoin. That's right. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable. Grab the beverage of your choice. I have some tea here. Maybe grab something to take notes with. I'm a note taker, guys. I've always been, actually, since a kid. I'm a note taker. I'm old school note taker, guys. Um, I never really, I do take notes in digital form on anything that I find that is interesting. That does come in handy for sure. But I have not entirely left the old world of the analog world of keeping notes. There's still something. There's still something that I regard as being special about the I don't know, the physical activity of taking notes. I think that having a really nice pen in your hands and uh, writing down something special, something that means something to you at that moment in time, in like a nice, I don't know, like a nice, I'll show you here, leather bound journal or notebook. All right. Just something that I still regard as special. All right. But I do take digital notes as well. All right. We are increasingly being sucked into the digital realm of existence. And we're pulled more and more away from the analog world or the analog existence. And we're becoming more and more comfortable with that. So as time passes, I become more and more comfortable taking digital notes as well. Initially, I wasn't comfortable with it at all. But this is it's a very interesting topic. And we are living in a very interesting transitional time for the human species, in my opinion, is because we're sort of straddling two worlds, the digital world of existence, which has always existed. It's just that human beings are now, in recent times, we've been exposed to it through a series of discoveries, and more of our life is actually moving to that world. So we're actually packing our bags in a way in the analog world and moving to the digital world. We're moving our photos there. Almost all of our photos are in the digital world now. They used to be in albums. Our music has almost entirely moved to the digital space. Our movies are there. I mean, when's the last time you actually went out to purchase a movie that you can hold in your hands and put on your shelf? All right. No, our movies have moved there. Our photos have moved there. Our mail has moved there. Now, when's the last time you licked the back of you've licked the back of an envelope with the disgusting glue and put the proper amount of stamps on a physical analog letter? When's the last time you've done that, right? So most mail is digital today via email and things of that nature. And so we are in transition. We're moving to a new frontier where it's no different, or it's very much akin to I'd imagine the new coming to America when it was supposedly discovered, right? Coming to America, to the new land, the new frontier. And then after that, venturing west through sheer speculation, seeking out gold in the West during the gold rush. These are important transitional moments in the evolutionary cycle of human beings. And I believe that we are unique because we're unique. And this time is unique for us because we're actually changing worlds. And more and more every hour of the day, every week, every year, more of our life is there. We spend more time. We spend, whoa, I left it. Oh, it's charging. But we spend more time with in front of our smartphones today. We get our news. We spend more time being entertained in that world. All right. You might go to an analog event today to see your favorite artist or something like that, but that is a somewhat of a rare event. You spend the vast majority of your time consuming your entertainment or entertaining yourself in the new world. And Bitcoin is the item or the element, which we're going to talk about today. Bitcoin is the element of value in that world. And if we're going to live increasingly in that world, we're going to need increasingly Bitcoin in that world because it is the element of value in the new world. So, why don't we jump right into the topic today? I want to discuss the possibility of Bitcoin actually being a brand new element on the periodic scale. Now, I'm not quite sure how old most of you are. I'm considered an old guy today. It's been a long time since I've studied the chemistry and gone over all 118, had tests and exams on all 118 of the elements that have been discovered over the centuries. But we're going to revisit that topic today, and we're going to do it through this potential, this idea that Bitcoin is potentially a brand new element. It is potentially that the 119th element on the periodic table. All right. Element zero. Yes, I like that. All right. So guys, let's do this. So let me just give you some background. First, I think some background's probably necessary first. Okay. There are 118 elements. All right. These elements are, if I recall properly, they're identified by the number of protons in its atoms, which we call the atomic number. Now, this will become important in just a moment, right? Now, there are, out of the 118 elements, there's only 94 of those elements, right? They occur naturally on planet Earth. All right. So the rest occur out, in outer space, at the core of stars and things of that nature. But out of the 118, 94 naturally occur on Earth. And you have, and we'll get into what some of those elements are. Now, one such element, which was discovered, well, these 80, there are 94 elements that occur on Earth. They're out of all elements, I think there's 80 of these elements that have a stable isotope, meaning that they can't be broken down by any other element or any other force in existence. They're the base layer of matter. There is no more breaking down. Most things that exist can be broken down into smaller components, and there are layers underneath its existence, right? Well, these 80 elements of the 118, they have stable isotopes, which means that they can't be further broken down. One of those 80, they have one of those elements, I think, has almost a stable isotope with a half-life of over 1 billion times the age of the universe. So why is that important? Elements are discoveries. You don't create them. So elements can't be created. They're not something that you create. They are discovered by us, right? They've always existed. Being unaware of them and then becoming aware of them is not an invention. It is a discovery of these elements. And I hope you see where I'm going. If Bitcoin is in fact the 119th element, if Bitcoin is an element, all right, with a stable isotope, it means that Bitcoin was a discovery and was not an invention. Um, it used inventions. We used inventions to become aware of it, to discover it, but it is a base layer of value that has a stable isotope, meaning that it cannot be broken down further. There is nothing beneath it. It is the base layer of matter, the base layer of reality, the base layer of value in the context of this talk. So, I find that very interesting. Now, let's go to the fact that these elements are discoveries. Now, some of these elements were known since antiquity, right? So elements like gold, AU is the symbol of the element gold, right? AU, you probably remember that from chemistry class or from your trading. AU, gold, silver, AG. All right, these early discoveries, they were often based on practical observations such as the use of gold for jewelry and things of that nature. But these are elements that we've known since antiquity, right? Um, and so there are other elements that through the course of our evolution, we became aware of. Now, there are some elements that required other things that were invented to discover these elements. So, for instance, developments in X-ray spectroscopy, right, gave us the ability, and radiochemistry. These things gave us or enabled us to be able to discover the radioactive elements. So I want you to think about this. Think about the fact that there was an atomic world that humans were never aware of because they couldn't see it. They couldn't really touch it or feel it or taste it or hear it. It didn't respond to the human senses. But this world, this atomic world, always existed since the beginning of time, even before mankind. But we were unaware of them. But it took other things to come into being through invention and through discovery as well, putting certain things together and creating things like the X-ray or the microscope. These were inventions, but those inventions led to discoveries. And this is where I believe most people take issue with my view that Bitcoin is not an invention, that it is not. It's one of the reasons why I just don't like to say it's a technology, because technologies are often, they're invented. Bitcoin is over and beyond a technology. It is technical, but it is over and beyond a technology. It is actually a discovery. So some people take issue with me with this because they say, Oliver, how can you say that Bitcoin is a discovery? That would mean that it always existed. And I believe it always existed. Just in the same way, these elements always existed, but some of these elements could only be discovered by us through some of our inventions. And this is where the lines get crossed. So follow my train of thought here for just a moment. All right, just a moment. Let's see if I can walk you through this. And I've done this before. Satoshi Nakamoto whoever he, she, it, they were, right, used a variety of things. He used certain discoveries. He used certain technologies. He used things like SHA 256. He used things like the hash algorithm. Uh, he used these things and kind of put them together in this unique way, and voila. Oh my goodness. What do I have here? I have something I thought maybe never existed. I've discovered digital value, digital scarcity, actual scarcity. You see, people, scarcity is not a man made thing. We have tried to create a version of human man made scarcity. We've done this through laws. Like, for instance, what's a man made version of scarcity? In this town, we don't allow by law any building above 4 floors. Okay. That is man made scarcity. So now real estate is only available in this region 4 flights up. Okay. And so it is scarce in that no one can build a 5th floor in this town. That is by an order, a law. That is man-made scarcity. We're not talking about man-made scarcity, because in that form of scarcity, it's not really real, because someone powerful can actually buy all the air rights, and this has been done, right? Buy all the air rights for dirt cheap. Why would a building sell air rights above them for dirt cheap? Because to the building owner, it's worthless. I can't build up there. This person wants to buy air above me. I'll take that money. And this has actually happened, where people have gone around, bought the rights above a building, the owner not being so sophisticated, believing like they want to buy air. I don't get this. They want to give me like $500,000 for all the air above my building. Okay, I'll take $500,000 for that. And there are these people have gone around buying cheap air rights above buildings and then going to work after they own the air above these buildings that cannot be built above 4 floors, right? Then they put their lobbyists to work. They spread some money around to the politicians and get the freaking law changed to now 10 floors. Law change. Now in our town, we can build up to 10 floors. But now the owners of the buildings only have rights up to 4 floors. They sold their rights for the 4th floor to the 10th floor. Instant tens of billions of dollars just with the stroke of a pen. This is the form of scarcity that we as humans have become accustomed to. We have become accustomed to a man-made false pseudo form of scarcity. Another pseudo form of scarcity, Apple stock. So Apple, right now, you can look this up. Apple has 16 billion shares outstanding. 16 billion. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. Well, Apple has 16 billion shares floating around. Now, that number, as big as it is, used to be bigger. They were convinced to go on a share buyback program where they were going to reduce, because they had so much cash, right? They're going to reduce the number from 20 billion down to whatever number. So Apple's shares outstanding have actually become less, which one can argue Apple has become more scarce, 20 billion to 16 billion. But it's a man made scarcity because the same way they chose to take some of the shares back through purchase, they can go the other way too. This is not the most valuable scarcity that we can be exposed to. The rarest, the special form of scarcity is a scarcity that does not come from a human being. It is naturally scarce, and no human being can affect or change the scarcity. This is what was discovered. This was the element discovered in this new world that we are moving to. We are moving to a new world. We are moving to a new frontier. More and more of our life is being sucked into a brand new universe. In this universe, there must be other elements. All right. An element of value. Bitcoin was discovered there. Satoshi Nakamoto took SHA-256. He took the hash algorithm. He took SHA-256. He took this. He took that. Mixed it all together, just like a chef. I'll take this ingredient, that ingredient, this ingredient. Whoa! What is this? Holy shit! You mean true scarcity exists here? I just found true scarcity? My God. This is life-changing. You see, people, the internet was an invention that allowed human beings to discover the new world. The new world always existed. The internet, a discovery, allowed us to discover the digital universe that our life is being sucked into. Photos, music, videos, movies, mail. Some of your best relationships are digital. Your newspapers are there. Most of your books are there today. All of the things you used to cherish in the old world, they are now in the new world. There are relationships that I have. I am with people every day from all over the world. Some of my traders, I've never met them, but I'm with them every single day. They become special to me. I wish their kids happy birthday. Their kids digitally come to me on the screen. Hi, Oliver. I've never met them. I've never touched them. I've never really, truly looked into their physical eyes ever. And I've known them for years. I've watched kids. I know when their kids were born. I have special relationships with people that I've never actually met in the analog world. Some of my special relationships are digital. Almost everything in our life is becoming digital. And at one point, all of it will be there, from the people who clean our homes to all of the mundane activities will be done in the digital world. And so there has to be value there. But the internet allowed us to discover this new frontier. And it began sucking human life into the new frontier, into itself, leaving the analog world. But we never thought that scarcity could exist in this new world. See, we knew that there was various forms of scarcity in the analog world. Like gold is a form of scarcity. It is man-made, by the way. Gold is infinite. What makes it scarce is human inability. As the ability of humans rises, so does the quantity of gold. So in the thousands upon thousands of years ago, the way you found gold was with a pickaxe and a shovel, right? That's how you discovered it. That can only dig so deep. So when all the world had was pickaxes and shovels, gold was scarcer than it is today. Why is it less scarce today? Because our technological ability was heightened, giving us the ability to dig deeper, making gold more plentiful. That's not real scarcity. Gold does not have real scarcity. Gold has limited scarcity through human limitation. It also has scarcity based on price. So, for instance, there are mines where it is everyone in the world knows there's gold in that mine. Everyone in the world. It's proven that gold's there in abundance, but it's not profitable at $2,300 an ounce. So nobody mines there. But let gold go to 4,000. Those mines will open. The dust will be blown off some of that machinery that's sitting outside that mine. And you're going to see a lot more gold come into being or come above ground. So gold has this pseudo scarcity based on human limitation. Our technology can't just dig that deep yet. And we haven't learned how to dig beneath the oceans yet, because there's a tremendous amount of gold below the oceans. So human limitation and price limitation. We have never, as a human species, we've never had the truest, purest form of scarcity that has nothing to do with human limitation, that has nothing to do with technological advancement or the lack thereof, that has nothing to do with price. For the first time, a form of discovery that is 100% pure, not created by man, not influenced by man in any way. And that's Bitcoin. And when you really see it this way, people, it takes on just a far more sublime meaning that, my God, this existed since antiquity. This existed before man. We're just pulling the covers back and whoa, here it is. Satoshi discovered the internet, helped us discover a brand new world, a world that began sucking our lives into it, a brand new frontier. Bitcoin, Satoshi helped us discover that in that new world, there is something of value. And it's not just valuable, it's absolutely, mathematically, provably scarce. And on top of being scarce, it is finite. We've never had contact with anything finite. Bitcoin's the first element to be absolutely finite. Wow. Wow. And provably so. This is not a theory. This is not a concept. It's maths. And so Bitcoin, this brand new element of value, was not created by Satoshi. It was found by him. And you can't take blockchain technology. You can't take one piece of the ingredients that he used and say, oh, this is the special thing. A chef will tell you that I know what makes this you love this dish from a chef, and if you go to a great chef and you say, oh, it's the paprika, it's the paprika that made it so wonderful, isn't it? The paprika. The chef's gonna laugh at you, right? It's like, no, it's not any one thing. It's just this unique way I put the shit together. And only I know how to do that, right? That's what the chef's gonna tell you. It's not the paprika. So anyway, this is where people confuse. Like, but Satoshi created it. No, Satoshi was the chef, and out popped from his mixture. Whoa, he discovered, whoa, digital scarcity. Now, before Bitcoin, we tried. So we understood that, okay, we're moving to this new frontier. We understood this. We're shopping there. We're browsing digital shelves, looking at digital images of the items that we want. We understood. We're buying our books there. We're watching our movies there. We understood this. We're viewing art there. We're listening to music there. So understanding that we're living more and more there, we tried to create a form of man-made scarcity in this new world, in the digital world. We did it the only way we know how. We tried to do it the only way we know how, through laws. So we came up with things like digital property rights. What's a digital property right? Like, you have the right to this digital item, but no one else has. So we did it through laws, which I explained to you is not a true form of scarcity. Brand rights and digital property rights laws and, things of that nature was our attempt as human beings to create a version of scarcity in the new world. But Satoshi's breakthrough was we don't have to create anything regarding value and scarcity there. I found it. It's Bitcoin. And today, whatever you put on Bitcoin's time chain, blockchain, right, is there forever. And no human being can remove it, touch it, change it, alter it, manipulate it, confiscate it, degrade it, debase it. And it'll be there for thousands of years. Now, when I say things like that, people say, Oliver, man, you've gone off your rocker. Whew! You've gone off your rocker. Man, Bitcoin's going to be around thousands of years. Yes, every element. It's not, discoveries are forever. What discovery no longer exists today? We discovered fire millions of years ago. Still around? Oh, the number zero. The Pythagoreans did not create the number zero. They discovered the number zero, right? Still around? Once you discover something, it's never undiscovered, ever, ever, ever. Thousands upon millions of years. Look at this. Well, no, I won't show you that yet. So my point is that discoveries, especially discoveries of elements and things like scarcity, they last forever. And here is another interesting point. You can't discover it twice. There's no second discovery. Like, there's no way, okay, I know this dude discovered fire, but I'm going to discover another fire. Really? Oh, wait. There's the Pythagoreans discovered the number zero, which changed the course of human beings. Zero changed the course of the entire human species. Oh, the Pythagoreans discovered it. I'm going to discover my version of zero. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Hello? Oh, wait, electricity. What's this thing? I discovered electricity. I want my own, I want a different version of electricity. Discoveries don't work that way. Inventions, yes. Discoveries, no. One. When I say Bitcoin only, it's because I understand it as a discovery. There's no alternative discovery. I just, when atoms were discovered, right? We never knew they existed. When they were finally discovered, then it says, well, you know what? I'd like my own version of atoms. I'm gonna go discover my own version. There's no alternative atoms. There's no alternative zero. There's no alternative fire. There's not even a freaking alternative wheel. There's no alternative. There's not even an alternative internet. There's no alts here, guys. This is outside of having a number two. There's no number two. There's no offshoots. That's my view, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. It's pretty amazing, though. It's pretty amazing. No, if you ask me, it's pretty amazing. Um, so I think I believe it's important to view Bitcoin in this light. It's truth, in my opinion. Viewing it this way is truth. And it compels one to place it in its proper place. We need value in this new world that we are being sucked into. And we need scarcity. We need a place of safety and security in this new world. And Bitcoin delivers all of that. And I believe that for these reasons and many more, Bitcoin is eating the analog world. The digital world is sucking the analog world into it. It's a black hole. And it's sucking it into, and anything of value in that world is being sucked into Bitcoin as the holder of the value. Now, let's talk about why I am constantly referring to or mentioning the fact that Bitcoin will rise in value forever. Forever. This is its nature. There is no point in the future where Bitcoin stops increasing in value. The rate might change, but the increase will never change, ever. Bitcoin will increase in value forever, for eternity. And the reason is because human ingenuity, human productivity, human value will rise forever. And that human value, that human productivity will be more and more in the digital world. That human productivity, that human value that will go up forever We're far more productive today, far more valuable today than 1,000 years ago, than 100 years ago, than 1,000,000 years ago, right? That's not going to stop one day. It's going to keep going. Value is going to keep rising. And that value is going to increasingly go into Bitcoin. So if the productivity, ingenuity, and value of the human species will never stop rising, Bitcoin's value will never stop increasing. Now, here's the thing that I think is very important to understand. Bitcoin, I want you to imagine if I can, if I can get a cylinder real fast here, but I want you to imagine a cylinder, right? Or better yet, you can imagine a wine decanter, right? Let me show you this. This will demonstrate what I want to demonstrate to you. This will more clearly demonstrate what I want to. We can take this. Okay, so let me do this. Let me bring this up for you, and you'll understand what I mean by this. All right? Hang with me just for a moment here. Love this, guys. I freaking love it. All right, let's say. All right. I freaking love it, man. I love it, man. I love it. Okay. I don't know if I can. Oh, can I do it like that? Okay. All right. So here's a bunch of decanters, right? And I want you, we can take any one, but let's just take the one furthest on the left-hand side. Now, notice how the decanter is kind of fat at the bottom and it gets narrower toward the top. Now, I want you to imagine pouring wine, value. I want you to imagine pouring wine into the decanter. At first, you're supposed to, you see that little, I don't know if you know wine. I was a wine collector and was completely obsessed with wine, a lot less now. But in the middle of the decanter, right, is this little bubble. That's where you're supposed to pour the wine to hit the middle of that little bubble in the middle. What this does is it sort of breaks open. The wine's been closed for a while. It breaks it open to start breathing, and the wine is supposed to spill from that bubble to the bottom, right? You're not supposed to let it hit the sides. A lot of people do this incorrecly. So anyway, that's why the bubble's there. Anyway, the wine will hit that bubble, travel down the sides of that bubble to the bottom, and it will start moving sideways. But it only has so much width sideways to move. After enough wine has reached the capacity of the width of the decanter, what direction does it move? It moves up. Do you understand what I'm saying? You following what I'm saying? So wine goes in. When it first hits the bottom, it moves sideways to the edges of the decanter, right? And after there's no more space, but more wine is coming in, it can't move sideways anymore. It can only now move up. Move sideways at that level, then moves up. Moves sideways at that level, then moves up. Sideways, up. Sideways, up. Now, this is how I want you to view Bitcoin. It can't move sideways. There's 21 million. Do you understand? That's sideways. It can't move more. And so, as you continue to pour value into the 21 million marbles in there, right? The only thing that can happen is the value rises because you can't create more. There's no width in Bitcoin beyond 21 million. but value will go into it forever, for eternity. Somebody said, Oliver, why do you believe that? Dude, it's the most secure network human beings have ever had. What do you mean? We're going to put everything there. Anything we hold dear is going to go there. Anything of value is going to go there. Everything else is not secure. This is the only secure thing available to the human race today. Never been hacked, hasn't been down once in the last 10 years. Not a hiccup, not a this, none of that. It's the safest, most secure thing human beings have ever had. Bitcoin's message is if it's valuable and you want to keep it safe and you want to make sure that no human being can touch it, fuck it up, debase it, steal it from you, confiscate it, make it less, draw graffiti on it or whatever, put it here. It's the ultimate universe's vault. Do you understand? The world will place their value in Bitcoin, and continuously so. The consensus organization has estimated, whatever the name of that organization is, right, has estimated that there will be 10 billion people on planet Earth by the year 2050. That's not that far away. That's 25 years away. 10 billion. There's 2 billion more people coming here. They're joining us, right? 2 billion more people are going to join us. They're going to be Bitcoiners. They're going to put their value in Bitcoin. There's billions of more people after 2050. They're going to put their value in Bitcoin. That's over and beyond the world we have now, where I showed you on my last talk, there's $900+ trillion of value if we stop the show right now. If we stop the show right now, not another human being is born from this point onward. There's $900 trillion that will, in pieces, and increasingly so, move to Bitcoin. Why? Because it's more secure. Because no human being can fuck it up. No human being can touch it. No human being can debase it anymore. No human being can get their little dirty paws on it, trick you out of it, steal it from you, confiscate it from you. Dude, I'm telling you, it's only lack of understanding right now that's holding this back. And as more and more people understand, the same way as more and more people understood the value of the internet, more and more people went there. More and more people lived more there. More and more people began to do their activities there. They began to read their books there, watch their movies there, look at their photos there. You understand what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time, but it's already happening. It's already happening. Take a look at this. You think it's not already happening? Let me show you. So if we take a look at this, give me a second here. Can I get this? Oh, there we go. I've shown you this before. Bitcoin is basically on par with Meta, 910. All right. 1.344 trillion, both of them. Okay. So let's call it 910. Bitcoin is is in the top 10 of the most valuable things on earth, including one of the oldest elements to ever be discovered, gold. AU, remember? Gold. That's number one. But gold has a 6,000 year head start. Yes. So in 15 years, Bitcoin catapults to position number 10, top 10, 15 years. Wow, that's insane. Imagine your kid top 10 in the world in whatever he does, and he's 15 years old. Are you kidding me? That's a wonder. You understand what I'm saying? So it's eating the world. By the end of 2025, I believe Bitcoin is right under gold. In a very short period of time, you're going to see Bitcoin go to 9, 8, 7, 6, number 2. That's my view. That's not financial advice. That's just where I think it's going. Right now, all Bitcoin has to do is get to 160, maybe even less. 160? It's a freaking stone's throw, guys. That is a freaking stone's throw away. 150, 160? Huh. It's going there. Number 2. It's eating the world. And increasingly so, the value that gets put there that can't go sideways, so it only can go up in price. It can only go up in value because it can't go sideways. All fiat currencies go sideways every single second of the day. They're going sideways. You understand? There's more of them going sideways, more supply every second. While we've been talking here, I've been talking for how long? 51 minutes. In 51 minutes, billions of new dollars came into existence. You see, that's sideways, but not Bitcoin. Bitcoin can't move sideways. So the more you put in it, the higher it just goes. There's no width to Bitcoin. There's only vertical ascension. It's very powerful. When it's inelastic, its supply is inelastic. We've never had something with this supply inelastic. We tried to create it, no buildings above the 4th floor. That's inelasticity created by man, which can be broken or bought or stolen. We've never had inelastic supply of anything. And this is what was discovered, not created, discovered. It's wild. It's wild. Now, so we see that Bitcoin is eating the world. It's moving at a rapid pace up the rank. Now, guys, this is out of, look at this. This is out of how many? Let's look at how many assets that it passed in 15 years. What does it say? 8, do you see this number up there at the top upper left? 8,000, I'm going to highlight it. 8, are you kidding me? 8,361. It's in the top 10. Oh my, out of 8,361 assets in the world, it is number 10. Top 10. Wild. Now, let's go to fiat currencies, shall we? All right. Let's go to the shit coins, the fiat currencies of the world, right? We can do that. Where does Bitcoin stand as far as what many people refer to as the world's money? Okay. Here we go. Here is, oh, I did the wrong one. Did I do the wrong one? No, I did the right one. Here is where Bitcoin stands. So look at the yuan, the Chinese yuan, US dollar, number 2. And this is priced market cap in Bitcoin. They're pricing it in Bitcoin here, right? So check this out. Go all the way. And you'll see Bitcoin. I was saying Bitcoin is the 16th most valuable currency. I hadn't checked it in a bit. it's risen up the ranks from the last time I saw this at 16 to the 13th most valuable money on planet Earth. And I know about other planets. You know, I'm always joking with you like this, right? I've yet to do intergalactic travel. I do know this planet. 13th most valuable currency in the world. Top 10 asset in the world on this planet. And it's a baby. It's a little baby. It's a little baby. Cuckoo caca, cuckoo caca. I mean, gold is freaking 16,000 years. How old is Apple? How old is freaking Apple? How old? Let's see. How old is Apple Inc? Apple's 48 years. Apple's 48 years. Microsoft's what? 46 years, right? 15 years. It's a baby. And it's quite interesting that it's the newer, younger, it's the newer, younger things that actually have the highest value. Why? Because the newer, younger things are living and serving the digital world. What serves the new world will always be more valuable than what serves the old world. Horse carriages used to serve the old world. The automobiles served the new world. Do you understand? And before that, you know, we had horse carriages for thousands and thousands of years. When's the last time you've seen a horse carriage? I mean, you know, you might seen it at some unique place, but you know what I'm saying. Whatever serves, automobile manufacturers are far, far more valuable than horse carriage manufacturers. They still exist, but they're a pittance of the value. And these were some of the richest, wealthiest people on earth when horses drove the humans around. Do you understand? So, whatever serves the new world is always exponentially more valuable. And whatever is part of the new world is always exponentially more. So, not only more in value, just more. So, for instance, there's more digital photos on your phone than on in your albums today. Your mother might have albums still. Your grandmother might have albums under the coffee table, but I guarantee you've got thousands of photos on your phone and you don't have thousands of physical photos. More. An analog phone, remember the analog phones? I don't know if some of you probably don't even know what an analog phone is, right? But an analog phone, what analog phone, remember the phones with the cord on it? My mother had one in the kitchen, and with the she had a super long cord on this phone in the kitchen so she could walk around the whole kitchen while being on the phone talking to her sister while cooking, go to the refrigerator. It was super long and it was a pain in the ass because whenever I had to use the phone, I had to untangle this cord. It would all get gnarled up. You guys, some of you guys remember, you know what I'm talking about. That phone today, right? That analog phone today, we can pick one. Take a look. That analog phone today, guys, the phone that served the old world, take a look. That's $16. 16 bucks. This phone, this phone cost me $2,000. More valuable. Why? It serves the digital world. It serves the new world. Whatever serves the new world will always be more valuable. Bitcoin serves the new world. It will be more valuable than whatever served our old world. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Are you connecting the dots, Anon? Are you sure? Hmm. There is nothing in the digital world that is not more valuable than its analog counterpart. Nothing. Do you understand? Nothing. And if it's smaller at the current moment, it won't be forever. And not only does the digital not only does the digital replacement of the analog thing that it is replacing, not only does it doesn't go to the value, it goes so far past the value that it's almost incalculable. Like the value of an analog phone is 16 bucks. This is 2,000. That's orders of magnitude more valuable. There there's far more music in the digital world than there is on frickin' vinyl albums in the world. By orders of magnitude. Do you understand? Companies today that serve the new digital world, they're $1 trillion assets today. We never had $1 trillion assets before the digital world. Exponentially more valuable, not equal value, exponentially more. Now that we've gotten that settled, here is the kicker. Here's the kicker, guys. Are you ready for the kicker? You sure? No, you're not ready. I'm not ready for the kicker. Yeah? Ready for the kicker? Okay, here's the kicker. Check out the kicker. Check this out. Here is the kicker, and I will end on this, guys. This is crazy. Here's the kicker. What's the number one asset in the world? Oh, wait. Gold. What number does it say gold is valued at there? I'll wait. Got it? 15 trillion. 15 and a half trillion. 15.5 trillion. Okay. Is gold digital? Is it serving the digital world or is it analog? I'll wait. It's analog. What's the digital counterpart for gold? I'll wait. It's freaking Bitcoin. But what is the value of Bitcoin? 1.3 trillion. People, are you following my train of thought? I'm leading you to the well. Are you drinking? Are you drinking? We've just established that never is the digital version of something ever less than the analog version. Ever. And if it is, it won't be for long. And we've already established that the digital version, the value is orders of magnitude always more than the analog version. So if gold is 15 trillion, the analog version is 15 trillion. That's the phone that's $22, right? If the analog version is 15 trillion and Bitcoin's the digital version of that, then naturally it doesn't just go to 15 trillion. That would be like the iPhone going to $22. It's going to go orders of magnitude beyond the analog version of itself. Gold was just the warm up for human beings. Do you understand? The same way horse and carriage was just the warm up for automobile travel and air travel. Gold was just a warm up for value. Self sovereign value was the warm up. We've got the digital version now. And we got to lock ourselves in, seatbelt and all, because this thing is gonna freaking be a rocket ship past that 15 trillion. So what's orders of magnitude past gold? 100 trillion? 200 trillion? 500 trillion? At those numbers, it doesn't even matter. Just knowing that it has to go there. It has to. I don't make the rules. Sophisticated says 100x. Yeah, something like that. It's gotta be. You can't tell me that Bitcoin's not 100 times more valuable than gold. Come on, for real. Can't tell me that. Can't freaking move it. If you can't tell anybody, you have it. You want to see some violence? You're like, Oliver, I've never experienced violence in my life. I'll tell you how to experience some violence in your life. Put $1 million of gold in your house and start telling everybody you got $1 million in gold in your house, and you're going to know violence. You can't tell me that Bitcoin is not 100 times. It's more like 1,000 times better and more valuable than gold. I say 1,000 times. I like this. Yeah, Bit Warrior says, just bought more Bitcoin after listening to this. That's the goal, man. I have a lot of people tell me, Oliver, man, every time I listen to you, I smash by some Bitcoin. This is why people, if I could do one thing, if I could just make you understand that you shouldn't be worried about price right now. My God, we're going way past 15 trillion. Like, these prices are going to look you're going to feel silly that you were worried about whether you bought it at 67,000 or 65,000. Listen, for me, Bitcoin's a rounding error all the way to 100 million in total capitalization. Surrounding error. These are pennies we're talking pennies where this is going. Do you understand? And we can look at it if we were to take this is not a fair comparison, but it'll still drive the point home. Bitcoin, I mean Apple came into existence, right? 48 years ago. It was founded on April 1st, 1976. Okay? 1976. Now, that means that in 1991, right? Apple was 15 years old. 1991. This is before some of you were born. Apple was 15 years old in 1991. Think about people worrying about the price of Apple in 1991. Doesn't it seem silly now? Like, dude was panicking in 1991 about the price, right? In Apple. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like, guys, it's too early to be price driven. It doesn't matter. Just when you have shitty government paper that you don't need, put it there. It doesn't matter what the price is. Mr. 100, this dude or this country, this nation state organization, wealthy and super mega wealthy person has been buying at 100 Bitcoin at a clip every single day since mid-November. This dude is not concerned about whatever the frick the price. It doesn't matter. 30,000, 40,000, 70,000, 60,000. Doesn't matter. 100 Bitcoin at a clip, 100 Bitcoin. Whoever's behind that knows this is a rounding error. Price means absolutely nothing right now. Zero. Oh, well, Oliver, is it overbought? Dude, that's like saying, is Apple overbought in 1991? It's just that's the thing that I wish above all that I could get most people to understand, that you're worried about something that is so meaningless right now. No, you're not, no one's going to care, and no one's going to be impressed. And when you tell them Bitcoin's $4 million, and I got Bitcoin at 64, at 65 instead of 67. Dude, you're not even going to care. It's a freaking rounding number. It's change. Do you understand? It's change. It's not even that, really. Guys, in 2003, we'd gone through the dot-com collapse, which brought almost everything down to its knees. And just as we were coming off of this massive dot-com bubble burst, right? Things started to improve a bit. Everything's coming off of its knees. We got past that, and boom, September 11th happens in 2001. So the collapse happens in 20. In 2000. Collapse, start coming off of our knees. Okay, things are better, and boom, the Twin Tower disaster, right? Twin Towers come down. That puts another blow to everything. Okay. And there's a longer story I won't go into now, but one day I might talk to you about it. But what that killed for me, that was the final nail in the coffin for something I was working on really enormous, in the billions of dollars. And it just killed everything. But after that 2001 collapse, things started to show signs of being worthy to be looked at again. And if you've been in the space as long as I have, you understand that this is where the biggest wealth is created. It is after collapses, right? And so I realized in 2003 that now's the time for Amazon. It was in 2003. Now's the time for Amazon. And guys, if you think I'm obnoxious about Bitcoin, if you think I'm obsessed about Bitcoin, if you think I'm annoying about Bitcoin, if you think I'm annoying when I call you a shit coiner and get out of here if you're talking about anything else other than Bitcoin, you think that now? I was worse with Amazon. I didn't want to hear anything else. Do you understand? I pounded the table as hard as I could. I tried to stuff as many people in Amazon as I possibly could in 2003. It was the only thing I talked about. Every dinner, if you were doing dinner with Oliver Velez, you were talking about Amazon. If you wanted to have a single conversation with me, you were going to talk about Amazon. I pounded the table on Amazon. I told people that if you have little kids now, they will be set forever for life if you do Amazon now. This was my message. And I had several thousand traders of mine actually followed me in the Amazon play. But only about 15% stayed the long run. I got rid of almost, not all, but I got rid of almost all of my Amazon in 2021 for Bitcoin. But I rode that whole wave. 15% of my group held through the whole wave, and we continued to buy. Now, the 80%, you know what they did? The 85%, you know what they did? We got into Amazon. This was pre-split numbers. So we're talking $7 and change. All right. $7, $8 in that price range. Now, split adjusted, that would be, I don't know, $1 something, maybe. But this was before it split. Anyway, Amazon worked its way pretty rapidly to a double. And they took it. They took the double. Some took more than a double with the idea that that it shot up too fast. It's got to pull back. I'm going to get back in under 10 or under 8 or whatever again, whatever. And they never could do it. They never did it. They were worried about price too early. And I've seen this error my whole 43 years in financial markets. I've seen it over and over again. The worrying about price too early is the massive, what's the word I'm looking for? Impediment to wealth accumulation. Obsession with price too early. Bitcoin has only half of 1% of the world's. That's all. It is the 10th most valuable asset on Earth. It's the 13th most valuable currency on planet Earth. And it's accomplished that with half of 1% of the world. Just a little drop. A little drop has spurned this, just a little taste of adoption has spurned the 10th most valuable asset in the world, the 13th most valuable currency in the world. This is too early to be, half of 1% is too early to be thinking about selling, to be thinking about, oh, it's overbought. Nothing's overbought with half of 1%. There's 99.5% more. You start worrying about that shit when you're like 90%. Half of 1%? I wish we could remove the price, the US dollar denominated price, and just say, all right, how many Satoshis do I have? This is the one wish that I wish This is the one thing I wish I could get through. Stop freaking focusing on price and getting scared of it. It's just an exchange rate right now. It's too early for that. You don't want to worry about price in Apple's 1991. You don't want to worry about Amazon after it's collapsed 98%. That's not the time you worry about price. You know, um, we're too early in the game. And wealth will never come your way if you're this way. It will never come your way. You know, your wealth is in the sitting, guys, not in the moving, in the, that's not wealth, that's income. There's a difference. But wealth, especially generational wealth, that's in the sitting, your ass down and standing still. That is true. We learn to evaluate ourselves by means of the language of price, so we have debased ourselves. Yeah. Price is information, you know, it's information. And price has been co opted, so it can't be trusted today. Um, Price is no longer free. It's been captured. Price has been captured. There's a dude that shows up on television yesterday, Kashkari, Federal Reserve Chairman of Minneapolis or some shit like that, opens his mouth and the price of everything collapses. That shit only happens in clown world, right? Like no human being's mouth should be able to move billions or hundreds of billions of dollars of value. That's freaking broken. One dude can open his mouth. Like, in what world is that good? In what world is that a good thing? That my value, the value that I worked for, I busted my ass giving my time. And this dude can open his mouth and affect my value. Dude, I'm telling you, Bitcoin fixes all of this bullshit. Another dude shows up on television. His name is Jerome Powell. And this dude can open his mouth. This dude can change the price of my money. My money, the money that I'm saving, the money I'm using for my family. He can affect that. Like what? Like what worlds have we come to accept here? I want out of that world. Do you understand? We're going to Bitcoin where no man's mouth, no man's words, no man's deeds, good or bad, can have an effect. It's the safest, securest spot in all of existence. And I can breathe easy there. I can breathe easy there. I can sleep like a baby at night. And I don't believe your shitty dollars, your shitty Japanese yen, your shitty Argentinian peso. I don't believe what your shitty paper tells me about my Bitcoin. I don't trust it. I don't trust you. That is you control that. And I'm not going to use that to tell me that the scarcest thing on earth, the hardest money on earth, is what you say it is. You're telling me this thing, this new element in the universe is $60,000, $67,000. I don't believe you. You're a liar. So I'm just going to buy up as much as I possibly can because I know the truth ultimately will prevail. I know where digital assets go way past the analog version. I know this. And I don't believe what the dollar wants to tell me. That's in somebody else's control. I only trust Bitcoin now. All right, guys. All right, guys. Love you to death, man. I'm very glad you're here, guys. If you found anything tonight of value, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Juan. Anything I have of value today, please understand that all of my talks do wind up on my Bitcoin podcast called Bitcoin Unleashed. Go look for that. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Fountain App. It's on all your popular podcasting platforms. Subscribe to that. Absolutely free. I do not ask you for money. I just ask you to look. That's all I ask you for. And so do your thing, guys. Go to work. Stack harder. All right. We're in good hands with Bitcoin. We're in good hands. All right, guys. Ciao for now. Boom.